Good evening. I'd like to start by sharing a bit about my papa, Earl Fultz. During the week, he was a hardworking, burly construction worker, but at every available opportunity, he transformed into an avid storyteller, mesmerizing anyone who would listen to him. As his biggest fan, I found myself sneaking off almost every day around 4 o'clock just so I could be at his house when he got home. His captivating tales sparked a deep love for storytelling and horror. Tonight's story is one that has stayed with me since my younger years. It was inspired by a dream that was so vivid and intense that it took me a little while after I woke up to truly believe it was a dream. Now, Jacob is really going to like this, and you're going to think it's an alien, but think interdimensional. This story is also dedicated to my wonderful family here tonight who have traveled from near and far to be here to support me. Thank you for being here and for believing in me and the magic of storytelling as much as I do. We love you too. Now, let's journey into the weird world of my teenage mind. From a young age, the night sky had always held a special place in my heart. Whether it was twinkling lights of the stars, the clever smile of the crescent moon, or the enchanted stories my mother would share as we gazed upon them together, each night was a magical experience. She would wrap me up in my favorite blue blanket, hold me close as if I were her captive audience. Her kisses would rain down on me, and her playful tickles would send me into fits of laughter until tears streamed down my cheeks. We would sit together for what felt like hours, the world fading away as she spun her tales. These stories were not just any stories. They were the tales and the same ones that her dad, my grandfather, had told. Each tale was filled with wonder and mystery and wisdom, painting vivid pictures in my mind with my mother and some of my most cherished memories coalescing in my childhood. A beautiful blend of love, laughter, and timeless stories. It was a night just like those that my mother first spoke to me about wishing on stars. With her arms outstretched towards the heavens, she pointed to a myriad of stars, explaining that among them were a few special ones that watched over us from a vast darkness of night. She said these stars were always watching and listening for children with pure hearts. If you listen closely, she said, you could hear them giggling at one another as we dreamt of our innermost dreams and desires. It was one of those nights that we saw it, a shooting star, leaving its trail of starlight across the sky. I was mesmerized. It was only for a brief moment, but long enough for me to squeeze my eyes together tightly and make a wish. I wished for a friend like me. I whispered, my heart full of hope and wonder. I stared at that star as it vanished across the night sky. In that moment, it seemed as if the whole night sky changed and shifted. As the final notes of our nightly ritual faded away, the enchanted tales she had spun came gently to a close, and our shared laughter and experience gradually softened to a comfortable silence. In one graceful motion, she scooped me up in her arms and whisked me off to bed. I couldn't help but giggle, feeling a rush of joy and safety as she melted into a loving embrace, savoring the moments of pure, unspoken love. As my little body touched down on the bed, she would gently lower me onto the pillow. The crisp, clean sheets were comforting and soft against my skin. With a playful grin, she would carefully fall on top of me, whispering that I was far more comfortable than her mattress, and that she would just stay there. Her words, filled with warmth and affection, wrapped around me like a cozy blanket. Thinking back, the weight of her presence was a comforting reminder of our closeness. And in those moments, the world seemed to fade away, leaving just the two of us in our own little sanctuary. "Mom, you have your own bed. I'm not a bed at all," I whined playfully. She would chuckle softly, lean close, bring her face close to mine, our noses touching in a gentle nuzzle. Then, with a tender smile, she'd kiss my forehead and tuck me in. I felt safe and cherished, knowing that her love was always there, comforting me. Before I could even think of wiping the kisses off like most kids do, she would give me that look. The one that said, "Are you really going to wipe off all of my love?" Her eyes sparkled with a mixture of amusement and gentle reproach. I couldn't help but shake my head no, pulling the blankets up, the covers halfway to my face, trying in vain to smile without letting her know. "I love you most," I whispered, my voice barely audible over the hum of the night. My eyelids grew heavier, and with each passing second, I felt the comforting weight of sleep beginning to pull me under. I swear, I had already drifted off by the time she turned off the lights and gently closed the door, leaving me wrapped in the warmth of her love and the soft embrace of my coming dreams. My eyes fluttered open, wide, still heavy from wanting sleep. I hadn't been asleep for very long. My stomach churned as the same eerie sound that had woken me up resumed. It was a low, uncanny whisper, barely audible, followed by a prolonged rhythmic tapping on the glass. Each tap seemed to echo louder in the stillness of the night, sending shivers down my spine. My body went stiff as the crescendo of the taps became deafening. Then, what I can only describe as nails scraping across the chalkboard, I'm going to save you from that. The noise reverberated through my skull, making my teeth clench and my heart race. I lay there, paralyzed by the mix of fear and curiosity, straining to hear any other sounds in the darkness. Was there something under my bed? Was there something outside my window? The whispers grew louder, more intense, almost as if it were calling out to me, beckoning me to uncover its source. My mind raced with possibilities, each one more terrifying than the last. Was it the wind? An animal? Or something far more sinister? Gathering my courage, I slowly turned my head towards the window, the source of where I thought the sound was coming from. The moonlight cast an eerie shadow across the room, and for a moment, I thought I saw a figure standing just outside the glass. My breath caught in my throat as I stared, unblinking, waiting for the next tap. I was astonished that I'd managed to get out of bed without my legs giving away. Each step I took was accompanied by a tremor that coursed through my entire body. The whisper grew louder, an eerie chorus that seemed to beckon me as I hesitantly moved towards the windowsill. My palms were sweaty and clammy, gripping the thick fabric of the curtains with a desperate need for stability. Light pierced through every crease, seeping through every possible entrance, casting an unsettling glow in the room. My heart pounded so violently that it felt as though it might burst from my chest. The cold air nipped at my skin. The stark contrast of the warmth that I had felt earlier. Had it really been so cold before? My breath came in rigid grasps, my mouth dry as sandpaper. Just as I thought I might collapse from the tension, a single sharp tap echoed against the wall of my bedroom, jolting me back to the present. Why did I open the curtains? Why had I not fallen back asleep when I first had woken up? These were questions I pondered now in the stillness of the night. The curiosity of a child is not easily tainted, but even by the unsettled fear of the unknowing, swallowing that fear, I nearly tore the curtains down and ripped them open. I was unprepared for what I might see, what I might find, but I was eager. So determined to vanquish whatever might be waiting for me. I was not prepared. There, standing in the moonlight, just out by the tree, was a creature, unlike anything I'd ever seen. Its skin was void of color. An empty blackness that blended seamlessly into the darkness of night. It was sickly thin, pale, and each part of its body was disproportionate and disfigured. Its neck was elongated, and its spindly limbs seemed to stretch on forever. It was kind of like somebody that had never seen a person guessing at what a person would look like. But the most terrifying part was its face, or rather, where its face should have been. There was nothing, just a smooth, featureless expanse that sent chills down my spine. I stood there in the window, frozen, my heart pounding. It seemed like I was going to die. That creature remained motionless, but kept looking at me, studying me. The silence was deafening, broke only by the sound of my own breathing. I wanted to scream, to run, but my legs felt like noodles. The creature's presence was overwhelming. Its essence was like a dark shadow that seemed to swallow up all the light and all the hope I'd ever had. In that moment, I realized that my curiosity had led me to a place I was not ready to face. The unknown had taken shape before my very eyes. It was more terrifying than anything I could have imagined. The creature started to distort as it continued to change shape before my eyes. Yet, despite the fear that gripped me, a part of me was still driven by that same curiosity, a desire to understand exactly what this creature was and why it had appeared before me. What stood before me was unmistakably not human. I could tell it came from somewhere other. Maybe the sky, like in my mom's stories. But it didn't really seem like her stories. I had never heard her talk about a creature like this. The twisted star thing, I guess it was a star thing, was a vision of grim grotesqueness. Its edges were jagged and uneven. Each edge seemed sharp enough to pierce the fabric of reality. The light it exuded was not warm or inviting. Instead, it was cold, sinister. The creature's face, or what should have been a face, was a nightmarish visage. There were eyes, unblinking eyes, as it formed more shape, devoid of any warmth or humanity. They were set above a sharp, pointless nose that seemed to cut through the air with sheer malevolence. Below this just awful smile, I couldn't imagine a smile so big, with jagged teeth that looked as though they could tear flesh and bone apart easily. This creature was definitely a harbinger of dread, a celestial being or something, interdimensional perhaps, wrought into a broken form that defied the natural order. Its presence alone was enough to fill the air with its unsettling chill, a reminder that not all things from the other are born from light and hope. Some, like this one, are forged in the darkest corners of hell. My lips parted to scream, but no sound emerged. My body betrayed me. I collapsed onto the comfort of my carpet. Each fiber now felt like needles against my near-frozen skin. Oh, how I longed to look away, to scream, to cry, yet all I could do was stare. Never had I known a smile that could invoke such terror, or eyes so evil. The creature moved closer, its limbs bending and twisting in gruesome, unnatural ways. I watched, paralyzed, held in its spell, as the darkness rippled around its arms. It reached for the window, teasingly dragging its fingertips across the pane before its needle-like claws wedged it open. "Come play with me." Its sucking whisper felt like the end of everything. I felt all warmth drain from my body as it creeped closer through the window. Desperately, I shook my head, dragging my body just inches away from the window. My voice remained trapped in the back of my throat, refusing to emerge. The hairs on my arms stood tall, goosebumps racing along my arms and necks. Its body, its limbs stretching and contorting to fit into the small places in my room. As it entered the room, the air freezing with an oppressive, suffocating dread, the creature's eyes locked onto me, and I felt ice run through my veins. Its smile widened, revealing even a bigger smile. The creature's hand reached out. Its claws inched just right at my face. My mind howled with fear, shouting at me to move, to fight, to do anything, but my body remained frozen, betraying me once more. The creature's whisper echoed in my ears. "Come play with me." And I knew that if it touched me, I would be lost forever. Its face shuddered and then illuminated the room, banishing the darkness. It shifted and phased in and out of vision. "Don't be afraid, little one," it whispered, its chilling presence settling its smile on me. "You wished for a friend, didn't you?" I nodded, tears streaming down my face. This wasn't what I had wished for. I wanted a friend, not a monster. The creature lifted a single claw to my cheek and wiped away a single tear. Stretching its neck over my trembling body, it effortlessly reached and lifted me. It lowered me to my bed, then laid my head on the pillow. Nauseatingly, but gently, it petted my hair with that same claw, just like my mom, before retreating to the foot of the bed. "Do not fret, friends. Do not make friends cry. And we shall be friends for a very, 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 very long time." Each time it paused briefly and nodded its wretched head. "Sadly, we cannot be friends without balance. For me to stay, someone must go. And since we are friends, and we will always be friends, I suppose it must be someone else." Its vacant eyes turned to look into the house. And then everything went back to normal. Had the creature gone? Was it over? Was it all just a dream? That night, I closed my eyes, hoping it was all a horrible dream. The room was silent, except for the soft sound of the air conditioner. In the morning, I was alone. The police told me that my mom had gotten a call into work in the middle of the night. She worked for UT Hospital, and there had been a severe car wreck involving multiple cars where a meteor had fallen. My mom never made it to the hospital. Her car was found in the Tennessee River. It had rolled 6 times, and the roof had been torn to shreds. But no body, only a lot of blood. I soon moved in with my mom's parents. But each night, I fear its gaze to this day, its presence, and its smile widening. It never spoke again, but it watched as I slept, as I dreamt, and as I grew. It was only the day after I moved to college when my grandparents were reported dead in their camping trip in the Great Smoky Mountains. Again, no bodies, only a few chunks of flesh and a lot of blood. A bear was blamed because of the claw marks found all over the campsite. But the pattern has never stopped. The nightmare continues every time I sleep. I'm afraid to make new friends. They're always reporting horrible things happening to them after we hang out. I haven't ever dared date anyone for the fear of waking up next to a frozen corpse and a black hollow gaze. I only have one friend. It's probably all I deserve. Never again will I wish on a star. For the friend I received serves as a constant reminder of what happens when I do. Thank you.